Young Sheldon Season 6 finale secretly sets up Mary's downfall, and a Big Bang Theory tragedy. Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and give this video a like. Up the foundation for Mary's demise and following terrible destiny in the Big Bang Theory is subtly laid down in the Young Sheldon Season 6 finale. A huge capper that balances multiple stories marks the finale of the family comedies season on CBS. Young Sheldon Season 6's special one-hour conclusion addresses Sheldon's pivotal summertime move to Germany and adds a new twist to Mima's illicit gambling enterprise, while also providing a resolution to Mandy and Georgie's intermittent relationship. When Mary joins Sheldon for his study abroad, the Young Sheldon Season 6 finale, however, also quietly foreshadows her less-than-ideal future in the prequel and beyond. Mary made her debut in Season 1 of The Big Bang Theory, making her the first Cooper family member ever presented, aside from Sheldon. She continued to appear in the show as a frequent guest star till its conclusion in 2019. Viewers gained additional insight into her and her connection with the rest of the family because of her frequent trips to Pasadena. She frequently related anecdotes about their time in Texas, just like her son, revealing her turbulent relationship with George and her fondness for Sheldon over his brothers. But Mary's religious inclinations were her defining characteristic in the Big Bang Theory. To be sure, young Sheldon isn't renowned for maintaining the continuity of the Big Bang Theory. It has produced several plot holes of various significance over the years. Some significantly alter the perception of Sheldon and his family, while many have no bearing on the broader plot of the franchise. CBS, however, insists that both programs are set in the same reality. In light of this, fans are at least given a preview of what Young Sheldon Season May 7th bring for the Coopers. According to the canon of the Big Bang Theory, Mary goes back to Medford to assist the family after the tornado damages Mima's home and traumatizes Missy after she and George had a near-death experience. Given that Sheldon is overseas, it's hard to predict whether Young Sheldon Season 7 will spend any time in Medford. Even though the show is focusing more on the other Coopers and less on the boy genius. The likelihood of this occurring is further reduced by the prospect that the next year would be the final one for the prequel. Mary's early return to Medford may mark the start of her character decline, which would have significant effects on both Young Sheldon and the Big Bang Theory, regardless of how CBS chooses to handle it. When it was revealed that Mandy and Georgie were unexpectedly pregnant, Mary was forced to leave the congregation after years of serving the church. Mary has become more amiable with her family since leaving the religion. She is first upset at losing her community, but it soon becomes evident that her adherence to her faith was the source of many of her domestic disputes. Given her loyalty to Pastor Jeff's church, Mary's trip to Germany with Sheldon in the Young Sheldon Season 6 finale probably would not have occurred if she had maintained a relationship with it. The Big Bang Theory was the first to establish Sheldon and Mary's relationship. Mary indulges the guy genius even though she frequently ignores Georgie and irritates Missy. This has been the focus of multiple episodes and the source of Missy and her mother's tense relationship. But there are advantages to Mary and Sheldon's intimate friendship. To begin with, only the socially awkward Cooper child can directly challenge Mary's churchgoer loyalty to the point that it forces her to reconsider her principles. Mary is at risk of re-establishing her relationship with her church if she returns to Medford without Sheldon. The situation is made more complicated by the reappearance of Pastor Jeff. This begins when Tanya, his niece, makes friends with Missy. After he unintentionally learns about Mima's illicit gambling operation, the Young Sheldon Season 6 finale further prepares the way for him to rebuild his ties with Sheldon's family. Although Connie's makeshift casino, which is fronted by a video store and laundromat, has faced a number of issues this year, this is perhaps the largest threat to it so far because of the Cooper neighbors' critical and self-righteous nature. However, Pastor Jeff vows not to reveal Mima's gambling den after learning that the Medford storm destroyed her home, effectively permitting it to remain open. Given this and Pastor Jeff's kind donation to Sheldon for his trip to Germany, it's hardly impossible that Mary will relax toward him. The rest of the church finds it easier to welcome the Cooper matriarch back because Mandy and Georgie are now also engaged to be married. Whatever the details, this is young Sheldon's ideal chance to help Mary rediscover her faith, which was a major aspect of her persona on The Big Bang Theory. She will re-establish her religious ties someday, but this is the most effective method to accomplish it. In The Big Bang Theory, Mary came out as harsh and extremely critical, even though he had a maternal affection for Sheldon. She did this while claiming that she was merely upholding Christian principles. She insulted Howard because he was Jewish and Raj because he was Indian, and she chastised Penny for her romantic involvement. Although Mary isn't as committed to her faith as she was in the main series, it still plays a significant role in young Sheldon. Given that it now functions as an origin story for the entire Cooper family, the prequel has an obligation to fill that gap as part of its narrative. It has long been assumed that Mary will return to church. The Big Bang Theory's portrayal of the character cannot be undone by CBS. Young Sheldon could benefit from adding more background information on how and why Mary is persuaded to return to the church, though. Maybe Mary feels compelled to give back to Pastor Jeff because he still attends to her and her family's needs. She might also see Pastor Jeff's interference as an opportunity to renew her faith. In any case, it might give viewers a better understanding of Mary and lessen her vileness in The Big Bang Theory. Young Sheldon expanded its roster of characters and became better as a result, just like The Big Bang Theory changed its focus in subsequent seasons. While there are many parallels between The Big Bang Theory and Young Sheldon, there are also significant differences between the two programs. Unlike The Big Bang Theory, which was a hangout program with a standard multi-camera setup, Young Sheldon is a family sitcom with just one camera. Young Sheldon's nostalgic setting and this strategy let the spin-off forge its own identity. The spin-off retained one of the better narrative choices made by the original series. During its initial seasons, Penny, Leonard, and Sheldon were the main subjects of The Big Bang Theory. Despite having an ensemble cast, The Big Bang Theory's true heroes were made clear in the first few seasons. Similar to this, Sheldon's antics and their effects on his parents, Mary and George Sr., were the main focus of young Sheldon's first several seasons. Although Sheldon's older brother and his twin sister Missy had their own subplots, the show's main focus was always clear. Young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory both started off with Sheldon as the main character before elevating his closest friends to the position of heroes. By season 6. Because Georgie had been progressively transformed into a likable protagonist in her own right by the show, young Sheldon's Georgie and Mandy plotline occupied as much of the screen time as Sheldon's exploits. In a similar vein, the primary cast of The Big Bang Theory expanded to include Bernadette, Amy, Howard, and Raj by the show's final seasons from Leonard, Penny, and Sheldon. Despite its name, young Sheldon's subsequent seasons have centered more on the Coopers than Sheldon, to the point that his character wasn't even mentioned in the plot of the season 6 finale. Although this strategy seems like it should fail, it has worked incredibly well for both shows. Viewers have more time to become engrossed in the plot and want to see more of the supporting characters when they are introduced to the main group gradually. Howard appeared to be a careless jerk in The Big Bang Theory pilot, but as the show progressively expanded his position, his persona grew more nuanced and, ultimately, more captivating. Similar to this, Georgie was introduced as Sheldon's dim-witted brother in season 1, but he didn't become a major character until years of young Sheldon's Georgie subplots. The new characters were introduced gradually and blended in well with the heroes in both Young Sheldon and The Big Bang Theory. Because Sheldon, Penny, and Leonard were close to the show's major characters, viewers who came to see them were unlikely to be disappointed by a Bernadette-centric Big Bang Theory excursion or a Mima-focused Young Sheldon episode. This implies that neither show will have to reveal too much about its main character. The spin-off never runs the risk of making Sheldon obnoxious since young Sheldon is preoccupied with Mary's spiritual problem and George Sr.'s feud with Pastor Rob. But when it comes to returning the show's attention to its hero, young Sheldon's last season ought to take a cue from The Big Bang Theory. Howard and Raj were less and less important in later seasons, and by the show's last season, The Big Bang Theory season 12, Sheldon was the main emphasis. In a similar vein, young Sheldon should bring back the primary character of The Big Bang Theory at the end of the spin-off rather than forgetting the show's hero. Thanks for watching this video. Please subscribe to our YouTube Young Sheldon 24 channel, and stay with us.